and the opinions given by the individual host and their guests do not necessarily reflect those of Z-Talk Radio or its sponsor.
You're listening to Z-Talk Radio, the #1 choice for music, sports, news, and talk radio. So keep that dial locked to ztalkradio.com.
Some good-looking girls dressed to the nines, looking for a good time. Jacked up trucks, stacked in thick, white rocks stuck in the mud grips, and a big old bouncer at the door. But don't show him your ID, and don't you dare step out on the floor. If you ain't here to party, you picked the wrong place, you picked the wrong Friday night. You ain't here to party, you'll be missing out on the best damn time of your life. So go on and throw your card down, knock your shot out, and get yourself in the zone. Yeah, you might as well go on and head your ass back home. If you ain't here to party. There's a little Louisiana band playing a swampy jam and brown sugar sand. Looking so fine, shaking that thing in the side of cool cage and purple rain. Raise your drink up in the air and everybody sing along. Man, you're here all alone. If you ain't here to party, you picked the wrong place, you picked the wrong Friday night. You ain't here to party, you'll be missing out on the best damn time of your life. So go on and throw your card down, knock your shot out, and get yourself in the zone. Yeah, you might as well go on and carry your ass back home. If you ain't here to party. If you ain't here to party, you picked the wrong place, you picked the wrong Friday night. You ain't here to party, you'll be missing out on the best damn time of your life. Go on and pick someone out, maybe lay down and get their number in your phone. Man, the only way you'll be going home alone is if you ain't here to party. Yeah, you better be here to party. Timber! Timber! What was that? I don't know, man.
And welcome back, everyone, to another great Friday evening here on the Z-Talk Radio Network. Well, I'm your host, Tim Roxbury, and tonight we have a very special guest. He's a good friend of mine, and I'm happy to have him on the show with me this evening. His name is Tim Shaw. He's an ordained minister, Reiki master, spiritualist, energy healer, as well as a paranormal investigator. Rev.Tim is an accomplished photographer who enjoys backwoods primitive trekking, flint knapping, urban exploration. He's also a skilled traditional leather worker and enjoys historical reenactment and writings. Let's see. Tim's got a bio a mile long here, so it might take me a few minutes to read it. What Tim loves most is a host of internationally acclaimed internet radio show called The Black Cat Lounge. It can be heard each Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern, on the Para X radio network. Tim has also co-authored Haunted Rochester, which is available through Barnes & Noble as well as Amazon. The book, entitled Ghost of Buffalo, Spirits, Murder, and Mayhem in the Nickel City, has been released by Schiffner Books and is also available through Amazon. In his work, Please Talk With Me, the true story of the C2D1 haunting, Tim has researched and written about the most devastating negative hauntings in Western New York region. It serves as an official companion book to the movie of the same name. Tim has also published an exciting new book of spirit channeling inspired writings along with his photography in the latest work titled The Dogma of Me. It's published by Moondark Press. Tim Shaw's writings have appeared in magazines such as Taps, Paramagazines, Haunted Times, the Fort Niagara Journal, Light Bridges, the Courier, Civil War Gazette, Wilderness Way, the Camp Chase Gazette, Military Images, On the Trail, and the War Post, as well as many others. Tim has also been featured on the Sci-Fi Channel's Ghost Hunters, the Discovery Channel's Ghost Lab. It's called The Betrayal of Fort Niagara. CBS Radio, The Wake Up Call by Soul for Soul, The Astral Bag Lady, The Psychics Next Door, Paranormal TV, and many more. He's also been part of the documentary The World Within by John, with John Zaffis, and it's produced by Core Productions. It's a documentary. But his list just goes on and on. So I'm going to welcome my guest, the great Reverend Tim Shaw. Tim, how are you doing this evening?
Hey, Timmy, how you doing today? Sorry, I almost missed the show. As you know, up here in I live just outside of Buffalo, New York, and we got hit last week with walls of snow about 7 feet tall in some spots, and I got called out last night, and I plowed right through till about 6 o'clock this morning, and I fell asleep about 4 o'clock, and my wife woke me up and said, "Don't you have an interview at 6?" I said, "Oh my God, yeah!" So I tripped coming up the stairs, and I made it just in time.
Yeah, I saw on Facebook where you were going for a nap. I'm like, oh God, I hope he's on time. I hope he doesn't sleep through it. So I'm glad you're here, Tim.
Just a couple minutes shy.
That's all right. Hey, you're allowed. You're allowed 30 minutes. I mean, a couple minutes.
Yeah, right.
But anyway, Tim, it's great to have you on the show tonight. So you've been involved with spiritualism pretty much all your life. Is that correct, Tim?
Right from a small kid. I mean, I was brought up Roman Catholic, but my father's religion was modern spiritualist, and I can trace it back to the 1880s. In his family. So, I mean, it was no big, for me, it was, no big deal. I mean, all this paranormal stuff that everybody is everybody's like shocked and they all think it's a huge thing. Me, it was just another day at the office. I mean, I was brought up with it. I probably attended my first Lyceum back in the, oh my gosh, I probably was 9 years old. I went to a first children's seance right around the same time. So yeah, I've been kicking around a while.
Mm-hmm. It unlike other people, that just have started into this within the last 10 or 20 years. You've been doing it your whole life, involved with it. That's pretty neat.
It seems like my whole life right about now, doesn't it?
Pretty much. Yeah, last time I saw you was up at over Newcastle. They had a Bear Paws event for the Humane Society over in Ohio, and that was a great time as well.
Hillview Manor. I'd never been there before. Well, it's a pretty interesting place. I've been to a lot of asylums and places like it, but that place didn't disappoint. It was one of those places that even I had my head shaking there.
Mm-hmm. Just when you didn't expect to get anything there, things start becoming active around.
Well, you get jaded. I mean, I've been to a lot of places, and it's like, where everybody like gasps when they see like shadow people. It's like me. It's like, you expect it, and hell, we got a shadow. I don't even think I was on that first floor in the back 5-10 minutes, and we already had a pretty tall shadow guy coming, kind of peeking out of one of the ICU rooms. So yeah, it was. I didn't expect it. I just expected it was going to be a run of the mill place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it doesn't disappoint, though, does it? I mean, it was a pretty active night.
Oh yeah, it was. It was far too active. It was a lot more active than. I mean, there was a lot of shadow people, a lot of shadow beings that were just all over the place. But we actually captured. I forget. We were on the second floor. Right, we were walking through the cafeteria, and I know the guy that Joe Piari, who was he was actually filming live. We were going through there, and I thought we heard a hush or a whatever, and we got it's when I played it back, it was two loud breaths that all of us that were in that little group, everybody heard. So when you get something that's that audible, that's pretty incredible. It really is, and to have it, we recorded it on I know he recorded it on his live camera, and I had it on my camcorder. So I mean, between the two of us, I mean, that's some pretty compelling evidence to get that.
Yeah, for sure. Was that do you think maybe that was a patient that we saw upstairs, peeking out of the bedroom there, or the one room, patient's room or something?
I'm sure it was. I'm sure that place was a poorhouse, and then they rebuilt it so many different times for 1,001 other reasons. So it could have been. I didn't get any kind of. I mean, we got responses for EVP recordings, but we didn't get any what I consider direct, intelligent responses. I mean, I'm not saying that they're not there. It's just that we didn't get any. We got some responses, but they were sort of just more mundane or generic to the building itself, rather than to that answered any of our questions. So it's still, I mean, to get something like that is still pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm. Did you feel the little boy there at all?
Oh, I don't know what I felt. I don't know what I felt. It was quite a roller coaster. I don't know. I don't know. I picked up on some stuff, but it was just not. I don't feel that it was super conclusive. I picked up different things, and what we got in EVP evidence at the same time contradicted what I got psychically. So I couldn't tell you. I really couldn't tell you who it was.
Mm-hmm. Tim, what is the definition of spiritualism? If you can give a definition for those who don't know what it is.
Basically, spiritualism was a religious movement that was begun in the mid-1800s by the Fox sisters, who got direct spirit contact from what we believe was a peddler, a traveling peddler who had been murdered, and his body hidden in the house. And from there sprung the first two-way intelligent conversations between those within the living, and those that have passed on. And the religion, it sprang up as a religion in the early 1900s. And there's a lot of frauds and stuff, but the true religion is protected underneath our Constitution. And today it shows itself as the religion of spiritualism. There's modern spiritualism, Christian spiritualism, all sorts of different types of spiritualism. However, the bottom line is the dogma is the same across the board, that that it's possible for us to communicate with those who have passed on through the veil. And it's basically what it is. It's not a fortune teller. It's not it's not like going for a psychic for a reading. What they want you to do is they want to encourage that people really open themselves up and receive messages from those, their loved ones on the other side.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting. I believe in a lot of what spiritualism is, and I was at lunch with my mom a few weeks ago, and I saw an old coworker of mine who was a Christian or or Pentecostal, whatever he is, and he asked me, I haven't seen him in like 10 years, and he asked me what I've been doing with myself, and I told him, I'm into the paranormal, I have a radio show, I have a paranormal group here, and I had told him about spirit, and I told him about, loved ones who may be trying to communicate with us, and he didn't believe it. He didn't want to believe it, but on the other hand, he said there's a spiritual realm, so it's kind of like, double standard there, whatever you want to call it. So it was kind of hard for me to get him to try to believe it or even think that it's there, So it was.
Well, here's the bottom line. First off, different strokes for different folks. You don't
Right.
try to, the spiritualist religion is one of conviction, not conversion. Most spiritualist congregations really don't care what other people believe. They believe in what our individual beliefs or not. We just don't care. Spirit always brings people to the congregations to keep them going no matter what. And it's not up for discussion. It's not up for debate. If you want to do something like that, fine, but that's not really what it's all about. And if you're a real Christian, if you're a real Roman Catholic, you'll understand that the two-way communication is not just the communication of saints. I've been working with the papers of Father Alphonsus Trabolt, a Jesuit exorcist and theologian who passed in 2005. And he was at St. Bonaventure University, and he taught a course called Religion and the Paranormal, where he taught his people, and this is a Roman Catholic university, that he believed that in some instances that you can communicate with those who have gone on, not just in a secular, not just in a religious connotation, but in a secular connotation, which is something that people don't really realize. The other thing that he stated was that you got to watch. You can't take the words of the Bible as truth, and the reason for that is that it's been tampered with over so many years. I mean, let's face it. I mean, the only reason the Bible was put together because the Emperor Constantine prayed to the heavens that if he could conquer because there were two Holy Roman empires at the time. If he could conquer the other Holy Roman Empire, he would turn Rome, become a Catholic or Christian, and he did. And he, at the Council of Nicaea, he went and he brought all these bishops and theologians together, and all these different books of the Bible, and they decided there which ones would go into the Bible and which ones would be thrown off to the side, and what they call now the Gnostic Bibles or the Gnostic paper. And the problem is that you don't know. Also, everything was written thousands and thousands of years after the fact. Mm-hmm. It wasn't written at the time of Christ. So you don't know for sure. And the Old Testament and the New Testament, and anybody that's ever studied it or read it will tell you that it's two diverse manuscripts. The first one is, the hell and damnation. The second, with the Old Testament, and a lot of the Old Testament is almost a morality. It's a morality play. It's a sanitation, hygienic play. It's there to tell you how to live and as a history of what happened. And the New Testament is a whole different way of thinking. It's all about salvation and the word of Christ. So, you don't know. So, you have to you have to take, in my mind, you have to take the Bible, not literally, like so many of my brethren do, but you have to take it as symbolic. And here's the other thing. You know what really upsets me, Tim, is people out there, and I'll just throw it right out there because I really don't care. People go out there and they rip apart the Roman Catholic Church, they rip apart Christianity. The problem is the people that usually rip these religions apart, these faiths apart, this spirituality apart, are the ones that know shit about it.
Right.
Because you have to be able to go and have studied it, at least somewhat, in order to go and throw it out. Because and if you go and you look at every major religion, well, let's even stretch it. Most minor religions as well as major religions, including voodoo and Satanism and so many other religions out there that what they are considered quote unquote alternative, you'll be able to find really a way of life. You'll find a positive way of life. Mm-hmm. And even Father Trabolt says it's not the spirituality that's at fault. It's the interpretation of the organization's stance on the interpretation that's at fault. So, I mean, you have to keep that up. And I'm going to get hate letters. So why don't you, I'll just put it right out there. Don't even bother to write me because I just delete them. I don't really care. And if you did and those people who are going to write me, if you do your homework right, you'll understand that what I'm saying is the truth. So I'm telling everybody out there, you don't hate Christianity. You can question everything. I question the roots of spiritualism because I think a lot of it is bullshit. I won't lie. Even my own religion, it doesn't adhere. It doesn't really. I don't please a lot of these little dictatorial organizations that pose as churches within the spiritualist religion because I don't believe everything that even they say is truth. You have to be able to go and think for yourself. And I'm even though that I am a card-carrying spiritualist, I'll come right out and tell everybody that everybody should have a firm spiritual foundation that they themselves develop through research and contemplation rather than blindly being fed the dogma of any organization because basically you could be a Nazi.
Right.
You can be a Nazi. So you don't want to give away your free will. And the dogma, one of the basic underlying facts of spiritualism is it really encourages you, if you look at it from a historic standpoint, throw away all the garbage about the fraud and the Houdini and Marjorie the medium and all that crap, all the sensationalism. Get down to the real dogma. Same thing with Catholicism. Same thing with Christianity. Same thing with Islam. Look at the basics. Look at the basics, and you'll see that there's almost a common truth that goes through everything.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I was brought up Christian Missionary Alliance when I was growing up. My grandmother used to take my sister and I every Sunday and every Wednesday, and people take that literally, and I always felt that there was something more than just what I was being taught in Sunday school. So when I got, in my 20s and 30s, I started searching. I started trying to figure out exactly what was out there, and that's how I got involved with the paranormal and everything. And like you, I don't take the Bible literal. I mean, like you said, a lot of Christians do, and I don't agree with that. I take everything from different religions and I form my own spirituality. So
that's what you have to do. That's what you have to do mm-hmm. because otherwise you, as Father Trabolt said, and I'll paraphrase it, is that the religions are not perfect.
Right.
Not perfect. So it's up to you to be able to go and accept that imperfection and go on. And, you can be a true spiritual being in any dogmatic organization. However, you must be a thinking man too. Mm-hmm. And you have to be able to go deep down. You must start to assemble your own spirituality. And that's why I'm not a real firm advocate of religious organizations outside of they organize for the protection of the congregates. But in most cases, most religious organizations, they are not addressing the needs, the ever-evolving needs of the congregates, because they become self-survival entities. They only stay there for not the good of the congregates, but for the good of themselves. They keep themselves going. When sometimes some religious organizations, and I'm going to go even as far as saying some independent churches become obsolete. And they no longer serve the needs of the congregation. And that's where, people have to go and they have to really take that bold step and walk away from it. And that's tough. I mean, it's tough. It's tough to do. And I've done it. I've done it several times. And, it's painful. I mean, especially if you form good, solid relationships and that sort of thing. But I mean, you don't want to live in a cult. You don't want to live in a fishbowl. You want to be able to go out there and you want to have a true spiritual practice.
Right. Alan Warren says that it's a business for them.
Absolutely, absolutely. Don't let anybody tell you anything different. It's a business, and I mean, I look up here at the devastation that in the Roman Catholic Church in the Buffalo, New York, the diocese here of Buffalo, and they brought in a hatchet man who was a bishop, and his job was to condense several small churches here and put them all into one, and then he closed churches. And I mean, it's a psychological torture for some people who have been born and baptized there, married, their families, their children's all went to these churches, and then they closed them down. And it was nothing more than, the almighty dollar. That's exactly what it was, because there were so many churches, and these churches were obsolete because they only had 25 parishioners. And you couldn't keep up with, the overhead. And having a church building is very, very expensive, very, very expensive. So, I mean, that was his job, but it was business, and he was cutthroat at it. And, the church here in the United States rewarded him for his efforts here to condense and rebuild. And that's what people have to understand, that the church is a church. Your religion, your spirituality is not in a building. You don't go there on a Sunday and kneel there for a little while or sing hallelujah and then leave and then be the biggest nasty prick out there, and hate your fellow man. No, true spiritual nature, true spiritual practice is within yourself. And that's the way it should be. It should be totally intrinsic.
I agree. I know. There's so many, Christians out there that they'll sit in a front pew, they'll listen to what the pastor has to say for an hour, and then leave, and then the rest of the week, they act like everybody else or worse than everybody else. So I mean.
But that's exactly it. I mean, you have to take all this with a grain of salt. But an intelligent person will find their solace in a church organization. But an intelligent person will also judge and research. But we live in a society. Come on, Tim, you know yourself. Right. We live in a society that everything is pablum fed. What do you want to eat today? Well, gee, what's on the latest commercial? What is the, I want to go from point A to point B. Oh, well, who's commercial, they're plugging an airline to go. Oh, I saw it there. People don't want to think for themselves anymore. People in this society want to be pablum fed, and they don't want to do the research, and they're lazy. And I believe that's the downfall of civilization, when people no longer question and research. I mean, I know I'm starting to sound like a 1960s radical, but it's the truth, because people don't want to go and, they want everything handed to them. And life is not fair. Life is not easy. And, you don't deserve anything to be handed to you. You've got to work for everything. Right. So, I mean, that's the bottom line of it.
Yeah, a good example of that is my father. Every day he says, Rhea, we're going to eat today. What are we going to have for dinner?
There you go.
That's a good example right there. So the way people are. So I that's one reason why I love going to Paracons and paranormal events, because the people that go and participate are real. They're spiritually real. Their character is real, and everything's real about them. It's like you and Chip Coffee and everybody. That's why I go to these events, because people are real. People are spiritual. And Mom, I tell you what, Mom had a blast at Erie and Newcastle. She loved it. I hardly ever see her act like that. So, I mean, she just...
Well, your mom was jumping on tables dancing, so, I mean, that's
literally.
I like your mom. I love your mom. Your mom is just so nice. She always goes and even though as a spiritualist, we don't have altars, quote unquote. We're like, sometimes I always describe spiritualism as a fast food restaurant of religions, but I'm a hybrid. I mean, I believe in, again, my religion is, my belief system is very, very eclectic. And I mean, your mom gave me a rosary that I actually have by my little candle altar that I keep on there at all times. So it's you. So she's just a sweet lady.
She is. She went to a light up night last week in Pittsburgh. She boarded a bus and went down there with a friend, and she had a good time. She don't really get out that much, but when she boarded the bus to come back, she must have twisted her ankle or her leg or something, and she's been sore the last couple of days.
That's what I'm telling you. That's what she gets for dancing on tables.
Yeah, I know. I keep telling her she needs to slow down, but you know, she don't want to listen. So what can I do?
No. You know, don't let her slow down. Just let her be more careful, because I'm at that age where I've got to be more careful because I'm going to hurt myself.
My aunt's in chat. She's like, "I'm telling her you said that."
It's all right. That's okay. She'll forgive me. I'm not her son.
Yeah, exactly. She had a good time. I mean, I know she likes you, Tim, and she liked everybody that was there. So she had a good time. You want to go ahead and take a break, Tim, and
whatever you want. It's all good for me.
All right. You have been listening to the Supernatural Realm on the Z Talk Radio Network with my guest, the famous Rev.Tim Shaw. We'll be right back right after this. And why my music is not louder, I have no idea, but we'll just go with it.
Every day someone asks me what's my story and what do I like to do. And every day, for the most part, I only go so far. I almost never tell the truth. Cause the truth is, behind me, there's not much to give up. I like simple, not complicated. Some small town kid driven by rock music and some honky-tonk in the mix. I like whiskey and coke, and double to the top, shot a Cuervo now and then. I've never asked for a lot, I'll never need much. A good-looking lady who can drive my truck. Not afraid to admit I'm that small town kid. City lights, yellow cabs, Yankee hats, suits and ties everywhere. These city folks, they look at me, my shirt and jeans, and make me think I don't fit in here. Well, the things they say, they might be right, they might be so, but one thing I know, I can't change who I am. Some small town kid driven by rock music and some honky-tonk in the mix.
Okay.
She had a cross around her neck and a flower in her hand. It's from the side of Thomas Drive on our way.
Excuse me, sir. I'm gonna have to ask you to power down your little word game.
I think your friends will understand.
Oh, no, it's actually my Geico app. See? I just paid my bill.
Did you really?
From the plane.
Yeah, I can manage my policy, get roadside assistance, pretty much access Geico 24/7.
Sounds a little too good to be true, sir.
I'll let that one take 5.
Okay, did she seriously just say that?
Geico. Just a click away with our free mobile app.
After so many years on TV, people recognize me as the guy to call when they think their house is haunted. But people also call me at Roto-Rooter Plumbing and Drain Service. Everyone knows Roto-Rooter is the company to call for clogged sewers and drains, but we can fix any plumbing problem. And now, water damage too. So next time you hear pipes rattling in your walls, your toilet flushed at 2 a.m., don't call a ghost hunter. Call Roto-Rooter.
Call Roto-Rooter, that's the name. And away go troubles down the drain.
And welcome back to the Supernatural Realm right here on the Z Talk Radio Network. Tim, you're not humble, are you?
I'm the best. I'm the greatest thing since sliced bread. I'm a legend in my own mind. Come on now.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
You guys are too funny.
At least we know they like it, Tim.
That's what's scaring me.
Well, that's just like when we were at Newcastle. When you did your your talk in the room there, the whole room where we were just totally vacated.
Listen, poor Adam. I felt bad about that, but it wasn't my fault.
I know you're just a great guy, Tim. I mean, a lot of people like you, so I mean, it happens.
Yeah, it happens. It happens. It just that's no problem. You know what? It's just that it depends on. It'll depend a lot on what I'm talking about. And listen, I've gone to some locations and some events where I had like 3 people listen to me. So, I mean, I know what it's like to have everybody in a conference room get up and walk out.
Yeah, for sure. So what do you think? Why do you think people get involved with the paranormal, Tim? Why do you think?
What did you say? I just missed that. I'm sorry.
Why do you think, in your opinion, why do you think people get involved with the paranormal? I know there's a lot of reasons why.
Yeah, most of the time it's people who just have questions. I would say in the last couple of years, I mean, the popularity of all the paranormal shows have really gotten a lot of people involved for what I don't believe is exactly the right reason. I think that a lot of people got involved and get involved for what I call the roller coaster thrill factor, and that's not what it's all about. Because you know as well as I do, most of your paranormal events are sitting there in the dark talking to yourself, and it's it can be supremely boring. It can be just so supremely boring, and people are looking for that big wow factor. I mean, and it's there. Don't get me wrong. Some places like Waverly, on one of my visits there, I mean, that was like insane. Mm-hmm. But for the most part, you don't get that haunted house, Friday night B movie type of intensity. And I mean, I got involved because it was just. I'll be honest with you. I mean, I never wasn't involved in it. This is just something that we did all the time. The names, the faces, and the equipment have changed, but the bottom line of being a voice or helping those on this side of the realm and those who have passed, that's never changed for me. But people have got to realize that they're and have some kind of respect for for the whole field. And unfortunately, there's some pretty poor role models out there on TV, and for the most part, they're good. But I won't. That the less I say about that subject, the better off I am.
Yeah, I've noticed, and I know you have too, where people like to mimic what they see on TV. They'll do the K2 meter, they'll do the flashlight sessions, and they want to they want to do what they do on the shows. And sometimes if you just sit back and observe and be quiet, you get more.
Exactly. But people don't realize that, and let's face it, 4 or 5 days of investigating get edited down to 22 and a half minutes. Listen, I've been on pilots. I've had sizzle reels. I've been, on different projects. And yes, it even makes me look good when they edit everything down. So if you can make me look good, can you imagine, what a lot of these TV shows really go through and really to make things almost like bone chilling or exciting. So yeah, you got to really watch that. You've got to watch. You can't. The big thing is people, back in the old days, the only time people really kind of went out and did investigating, quote unquote, outside of like those of us who had were doing it because of other reasons, was the fall, was for Halloween, and they were all looking for that wow factor. And yeah, you gotta watch that. You gotta watch it, and what they teach you on TV is okay, but you gotta bring a little bit of creativity in there, And I'm not a big proponent of the flashlight that goes on and off. I'm not a real big proponent of that because of thermodynamics. The other thing I'm not a real big proponent of, and you've got to really be careful with it, is the K2 meter, because people are out there running around and everybody's got cell phones, everybody's getting texts, everybody's getting phone calls and all this other stuff. That affects the electromagnetic field, and that will give a false positive. And the other thing is I've been to places that there's no power, and all of a sudden everybody's getting these massive K2 hits. But what people don't realize is, all of this energy and these frequencies. You can get false positives 250 miles from a broadcast tower. Mm-hmm. So you've got to really be careful. And, a lot of people don't want that. A lot of people want to see the wow. Everybody wants to have that thrill. Everybody wants to jump in and go for the ride. And nobody wants to take the time to go and be a skeptic. I feel bad. I was down in Gettysburg, and this one barmaid brought up this kind of neat picture, and it was lens flare. And I said, "Do you really want me to tell you what this is?" And she goes, "Well, I'd like to know." And I'm explaining about how lens flare works and this and that. And at the end, she goes, "I think my story was far more interesting." But it's true.
Sometimes people don't want to hear the truth, do they, Tim?
No. People don't want to hear the truth, and that's it. That's the bottom line. And that's what people don't understand. I'm a true believer. I really am, but I don't believe everything that's handed to me or anything that I actually experience. You have to weigh everything, and you have to be a skeptical believer in order to be a true rounded truth seeker. And that's where people kind of drop the ball, because everybody learns. You go to take all these little classes, and and there's nothing wrong with it, but nobody ever tells you that you have to go and you have to be skeptical, and you have to second guess yourself. And it's not. I hate when I'm proved that a piece of my evidence is wrong or isn't right. I hate that. Right. But on the other hand, I'd rather have the truth rather than go and live believing a deception.
Mm-hmm. Sheila asked in chat. She says, "What about getting scratched, or what about coming in contact with a negative entity?"
You know what? They're fewer and far between than what a lot of people believe, and I won't lie. Sometimes people get scratched themselves by bumping into door frames into the night and stuff. And I am very skeptical of anything that goes on people's like their shins and that sort of thing. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, because it's happened to me. It's happened to my friends. There's things that just, but there are benchmarks that you look for. A burning sensation.
Right.
Other phenomena that happens to be accompanying it. Most times a scratch or a push or something like that isn't an isolated incident. There are other things that are involved in there. And that's all part of the infestation process, whether it goes into a full-blown possession or just a haunting. The infestation process, people don't realize and don't understand it. And, you walk, I'm bald. You walk through some cobwebs in an old house, and it's like, oh my God, it's ectoplasm. And no, it's not. It's cobwebs. Come on, open your eyes. Yeah, I believe in this stuff. I believe that there are spirits and spirit, personalities out there that talk to us. But on the other hand, everything, listen, if it walks like a ghost and it farts like a ghost, it doesn't necessarily mean it's a true ghost. You gotta really put it to the test, and that's what makes this whole endeavor so truly exciting. Putting it to the test, understanding the physics behind it, understanding what could be, what can't be, letting go of your evidence, because a lot of people like hold on to this evidence like it's their firstborn male child getting ready to go and be sacrificed someplace. They go and they hold on to this evidence, and they never take the time to make contacts to send it to those who are authoritative. I have friends in Michigan. I have friends all over the place that at universities that I can send my audio to, and they can send it. They'll test it, and a lot of times it's like, no, that's within the realm of a grass cutter. Toss out the evidence. That's in the realm of a car. Toss out the evidence. Mm-hmm. We don't know what this is. This is weird. We don't understand it. Keep the evidence. So, I've done that 1,000 times. Up at Old Fort Niagara, there's a Coast Guard base right next door, and there's an extremely loud Coast Guard radio that people pick up all over the place. It echoes out there. You're right at the mouth of the Niagara River and where it meets Lake Ontario, mm-hmm. and that voice is all over the place, and there's a crackle and stuff, and people go, "Oh my God, you hear that? Oh my God, listen to this song." No, it's a Coast Guard base. You're less than 1,000 feet away from it, So you have to understand that everything isn't true evidence. Sometimes it's all natural, organic in nature, and that's what people have to look for. They have to keep looking for that organic, true element where you just can't explain it, and other people can't explain it.
Right. We had a investigation just down the street from my mom's here 2 weeks ago, and we were upstairs where there were a lot of claims up in the attic, the attic bedroom, and we were up there doing an EVP session, and the client had claimed that she was getting scratched all the time, and she went to the doctor about it, and they said, "Are you sure you're not scratching yourself?" And she's like, "How would I scratch myself in the back? I can't even reach back there." So we go upstairs and we do an EVP session, and I tell them, whatever may be there, that if you're going to scratch somebody, I'll send you straight to hell. And just maybe 2-3 minutes later, the client's son got a burning sensation on his back. And I'm like, "Josh, let's check your back." And we pull his shirt up, turn a flashlight on, and he had 2 scratches right on his back, about maybe an inch long, and he was just sitting there. So I don't know if it was something there, or maybe because he had his hands in front on his lap the whole time. So I don't, I really don't know what it was that did it.
Well, that's exactly it. I've had people that have walked in front of me and have gotten scratched, and there's no way, and I've seen the scratches turn into welts. Mm-hmm. That's awful hard to disprove, but it's also hard to prove that something didn't scratch him. A lot of times it's the rashes you have to watch. A lot of people get allergic reactions, and you have to really watch that, because you can't go and you can't really prove what is on an allergic reaction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Deb said that her last scratch was, in her butt cheek through her jeans, and she had equipment in both
hands. That was Carly that did that. Don't let anybody kid you.
So you don't believe that just because someone gets scratched, it's a negative?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Sometimes it's just a spirit personality that really wants to be heard or wants to be recognized. Just everybody. That's the other thing. Everybody's, ever since The Exorcist, everybody's got demons on their minds. It's not demon infestations are very, very, very rare. There's a lot of negative SOB spirits out there that aren't demons, that are floating around, that can cause this. But also, there's, you could have the small childlike spirit entities that can cause this too. So it's a full gambit. You have to be able to go and do a full investigation before you go and you make up your mind. And that's the problem with it. A lot of people jump to conclusions because they were scared. And 9 out of 10 times in my work, it's never been anything negative. It's never been anything bad. It's Aunt Edna coming to say hi. They see a shadow in the house. Oh, it's demons. Well, you know what? Maybe you should stop watching Friday the 13th. And I shouldn't say that because my good friend Tony Moran was the original. It was in the original. But you've got to be able to go and you've got to be able to not scare yourself. And if you're scared, and I don't like the dark, but I'm just wary of the dark. And you've got to be able to go and you've got to keep a clear mind about you. You really, truly have to.
Mm-hmm. I agree. If anybody has any questions, I know there's a lot of activity in chat. So if anybody has any questions, you can feel free to call. The number is 724-602-2826. If you have any questions or comments for either myself or Tim here, feel free to do so. Call in. We'll get your questions answered. So, Tim, you have been involved in a lot of things over the years, movies, documentaries, books. You've done a lot.
I don't know. I've been busy.
Yeah. What was Grim Becoming like? I know that you had a part in that movie. I talked to Chip here a couple of weeks ago, and he thought that the movie was phenomenal, and I did too, from what I've read and what I've seen on the internet.
Here's the thing. I've not seen it, and I'll be honest with you. I mean, it was fun being on the set and everything, but I don't know. I mean, it was fun doing. I don't define myself by that. It's fun to put that stuff on the resume, but I've not seen it, so I don't know what it looks like. Mm-hmm. I'm probably in there about 3 seconds, a blink of an eye. That's show business.
I guess Chip said he got his copy after the premiere, on Halloween, I guess, up there, up in New York State. So, I don't know. From what I've heard, it was a pretty good movie.
I don't know. Again, I don't. I'm going to be totally honest with you. I really don't look at anything that I do. Mm-hmm. I really don't, because once it's done, it's already in the past.
Right.
I'll, like, for my own radio shows, I'll listen to some podcasts so I can tweak what I do. But when it comes to guest spots, or if it comes to doing cameos and stuff, I don't know. Once in a while I'll watch them, but for the most part I don't. I'm built that way. I just don't care. I just go and do it, and because of the fun of it, the experience of it. Most of the time it's with my friends, and I don't know what. So I'm the wrong person to ask about that.
Yeah, I'll do the same thing, Tim. I'll go back and I'll listen to some of my shows, and then I'll look back and see what I can change about the next one. What I could have done and could have, should have, would have done, or what, do something different the next time. So yeah, I do that too.
That's all it is. That's all it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll just do it.
Yeah, Sheila asked, if it's a spirit, then why would they scratch you? Just
for attention.
Get their attention.
That's the bottom line. Just for attention.
Okay.
It doesn't. It may have something to say. It may not. Mm-hmm. If it's just again. Most times. At Waverly, you've got a lot of children there. You've got a lot of people that were sick there. A lot of times, it's not negative. It just wants your attention. However, everybody carries a lot of their own stuff, their own baggage with them. So how do you know that it's not a spirit that you brought in with you? that's attached to you, and you don't even realize it. And the bottom line of any haunting is you go and you look for a source. You look for a power source. You look for the battery. That's because your job as an investigator shouldn't be just recording it and going, ooh, oh my, I'm scared. That's not your job. Your job is to get down to the nuts and bolts of it, and you diffuse a situation. The quickest way you diffuse a situation is to ascertain the battery, whatever it is that powers it, and disconnect that battery. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you may be bringing in a spirit that's associated with you, that's attached to you. And guess what? It goes into certain situations and boom, it goes into this, it sucks this power up and it becomes stronger. And it can turn around and attack you. So, you don't know what exactly you're dealing with. That's why an intensive investigation needs scientific method as well as good observation skills. And you have to be very, very careful. And people don't realize, again, it could just be that it's a spirit that just wants your attention. It's not. It acts sometimes as a childlike, and pouts and lashes out to get your attention. And do you think that children are inherently evil? Well, I believe some are, but I believe that 99.9% of them are not. Right. And I believe that a child spirit that may have passed over under the age of 6 is prone to tantrums. But on the other side, you have to understand that there are parasitical spirits. There are spirits that are addictive spirits. These are all things. These are all entities that live off of supreme and nasty vibrations. We're all vibrational people. That's if you just read common physics. Everything breaks down to a vibration. Thoughts are things. Things are vibrations. Thus, if that's the case, fear, loathing, anger, envy. That's all these negative. Nasty vibrations, jealousy, that you walk into a place and you have any of that in your own life, bang, it's going to live up to that. And these spirits live off of that vibration, and you don't know what the heck hit you. And that's the problem with a lot of people that are actually experiencing some negative stuff. Now, we're not talking about human targeted poltergeist or the true poltergeist experience. We're not talking about someone who may have picked up an attachment, because like attracts like, which is the basis of the spiritualist religion and a lot of earth-based religions. Like vibrations attach, or attract like vibrations. We're talking about something that just might happen to be local, and people have to understand that. They have to be honest with themselves, and a lot of people aren't, because let's face it, people aren't honest with themselves in so many aspects. So that's the other thing you need to understand. You have to go and you have to be very, very careful with whom you actually go out there and work. Mm-hmm. And, just because you go to a group and everybody is all happy and jumping around and stuff, take a good look around, because maybe those are the type of spirits that may fill your next investigation. You really have to be very, very careful about it.
That's interesting. And I never really thought of that. Like you said, when you're in a group of people like that, you could be picking up someone else's energy that maybe they're carrying around with them, or maybe an attachment that they have. I never really thought of it like that.
Let's look at it this way. Here's the other thing that you have to understand, and this is being totally honest. As a psychic medium myself, I believe that I can come in contact with, various, deceased entities mm-hmm. that have gone through metamorphosis and have changed onto the other side. However, really, am I doing this? Or am I picking up the energies of the person who sits in front of me? Right. Am I just reading? Am I just mind reading? Is that person projecting these entities? Are they? I don't know. Mm-hmm. You have to question. You have to question. I believe certain things, and until I'm proved wrong, I'll believe them. But the bottom line is, you got to question it. You can't. There's no absolutes. I walk into some locations, and I'll do a walkthrough, and I'll record my impressions, and I can be spot on, and other times I'm not at all. And that's the hardest part. You have to just accept that you're not perfect, right? And everything may not be what you think it is. And you don't know. You don't know. I've had people that get the same sounding entities through EVPs that swear and do all this other stuff every location they go, and it sounds the same. If you go, we were here at Hillview, we were here, we were at Waverly. Listen to them all. The voice sounds the same.
Right.
Now, is that a coincidence? Is that just the way things are going, coming through and interpreting onto the digital recorder? Or is it something else? Is it attached to that person? Does it follow that person? Like attracts like. You have to question it.
Mm-hmm. I have a friend, Mark Carter, who's an investigator over in Ohio, and he has got numerous EVPs, and he told me, he said, Tim, the voice sounds the same every time I get an EVP. And he even asked me, he said, could it be something that's attached to me and something that's following me around that's communicating with me on the voice recorder?
You have to, and again, that's something that you gotta be honest with yourself. Mm-hmm. And what I say pisses people off.
Right.
Because it's not it's not the way they do it on TV, and it's not in a nice, clean gift wrap box. Mm-hmm. I go and I push it, and if you want to be a truth seeker, then damn it, seek the truth. Toss the rest of this crap away and seek the truth, and let the chips fall where they may. Accept that you're not perfect. Accept that your evidence may not be exactly what it's supposed to be. Hope for the best, and and then be gracious when somebody disproves your evidence. Because my God, I've had hundreds of stuff that's been disproven. From somebody passing wind in a room to belly growls to somebody's shortwave radio that may have interrupted somebody's telephone that should have been turned off, and they got a false positive text. I mean, there's so many different things that can happen.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Even in with these paranormally active locations like Waverly Hills, how do we know that the evidence or the footage that we get isn't from a former investigator that something may have followed them, or maybe it's their energy?
Exactly, because there's no spot on this earth where man has not dwelt or wandered that he did not leave something behind, whether it's DNA or energetic. That's what people have got to understand, and people have to accept that. I'm sorry, but I mean, if you want to find a ghost, you want to find paranormal evidence, listen, we can find it if you work hard enough in a bathroom in a bus station. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be a haunted house. It doesn't have to be an infested house. If you work hard enough, you'll find it. Now, does that mean that the location is haunted? Maybe, maybe not. But you have to interpret it, and you have to work hard for it. And people don't realize that. People only go the first phase. You've got to go all 10 phases in order to go and to make an assumption.
Right, exactly. Does anybody else have any questions? Sheila asked about moving objects, rocking chairs, etc. Do you believe that's
psychokinetic? Sometimes it's psychokinetic energy by an intellectual in a what I would call an intelligent mind. It can do it. It can be spirit-based, it can be human-based, or it can be mindlessly based through mindless psychokinetic energy. People don't understand that. There are some gifted people out there that can actually affect the atmosphere in which they live. And I mean, I've been on haunts or investigations where people swear it's haunted. We've seen stuff happen. I've had beds shake from underneath me. Did we get any evidence? None. Nothing. No reason. No nothing. Delve into the personality. Nothing to the client. Nothing. They're not on drugs. They're not. They're not self-medicating. They're not doing anything. So what can it be? Chalks it up to energy lines like ley lines and mindless psychokinetic energy. So. Again, every case is different. So you have to attack every case as an individual entity. And what you learned on the last case, you put it in your toolbox, and you open your mind up and you start from scratch again. You go right back to kindergarten and you start building.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. You just kind of put the pieces together, right? I mean, you do your background checks, you do your history, and you just try to put the puzzle together if you can.
Exactly. That's exactly it. And people, again, it's all about being truthful and honest with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It really is, because people are looking for a format. They're looking, oh, well, this. I mean, don't get me wrong. There are benchmarks you have to look for, and infestation, possession, and oppression cases. However, that's not always the case. So you have to, like the C2D1 haunting of a Geneseo State. I mean, that was a classic case of oppression. May have been a temporal possession attempt. However, that was a singular case, and I'll be honest with you, you don't find them very often.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. They're very rare. I mean, like you said, there's a few cases out there, and some of them that you and I know of that are very legit, but those cases are rare. They don't happen very often.
Exactly. People just, and again, that's something else. People don't want to go and they don't want to go and admit that these cases are that rare. Mm-hmm. Everybody wants the demonic case. Well, you know what? Watch what you wish for, because most people can't handle demonic cases, and most people that if you do get something that's really bad can't handle it. They don't have the knowledge to handle it. And the other thing is even if you have the knowledge to handle it, putting it into practice and having knowledge and putting it into practice are two different things. Mm-hmm. And, again, if you're a vibrational being, you believe in that, and you believe that the entity is a vibrational being, let me tell you something. That entity will turn around and will exploit your fears and throw them back at you. Mm-hmm. And that's called targeting. And people don't realize that. And a lot of times, a lot of groups, a lot of individuals are very, very territorial, and they'll go and they'll give the client a bad bill of sales. I mean, and they'll say, well, we're just going to keep trying this. This will work, and nothing ever works. And that's why the only suggestion I can give people is to develop a huge network of people whom you can rely on. Mm-hmm. People in the psychological and psychiatric communities, people within the health fields, along with people within the different religious realms, demonologists, people that you can turn around and understand. You can pass these cases to in a responsible manner, and I believe that it's irresponsible and it's reprehensible that a individual or a team will hold on and really just cause more. Probably the best way I can describe it is cause more pain and suffering to the client, because they're not really helping it, and all they're doing it for is just to get an EVP. If I had a nickel for every time I got an F-bomb on an EVP, I could retire right now. And that's true, and that's what people, they love that. These teams love that. They go out there and they all sit around drinking beer and listening to the F-bombs. That's not what you're doing. But you're not helping the client. And the client, at that moment, the client is the most important person in your life, and you have to act that way, and you have to be responsible that way. And that client is going through sometimes true hell. And if you're not doing any good for the client, pass the case on. I've passed hundreds of cases on.
Right.
Now, I don't do negative cases anymore. I've had 5 years of surgeries and chemo and stuff, and I don't do that. And I believe that part of my problem was actually caused by some of the negative cases that I have actually worked. And if you go and you study any of the lives of the exorcists, like in Father Malachi Martin's book, the late Father Malachi Martin, Toss It to the Devil, you see that the toll that it takes on these exorcists, and you have to really watch it. Even lay people, it will put a hurting on you sometimes. So, I mean, right now, I don't do any negative cases, but I pass it on to competent people with whom I've networked with, whom I know that they have the best, absolute best, intention for the client, to help that client. And if they can't help them, or they don't feel that they can help them, they'll pass them on to somebody else.
Exactly.
But it's important to do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if I even remotely think that, I might be dealing with a demonic case, I'll do the same thing. I'll pass it on to somebody who's credible and that maybe they can help the client out. I don't even want to do them.
But that's the important part. That's the responsible part. And people don't realize that you have to be responsible. But again, this is not a roller coaster. If you want to go to a haunted house and have all sorts of stuff going on, there are thousands of them in a 6-block radius of my own house, you know. These haunted houses where, you know, they're all full of actors and stuff. That's if that's what you want, go to there. If that's what you want, do not try to find it in a paranormal investigation, because you have got to worry about that. The bottom line is you've got to help the client. Mm-hmm. The client is the most important thing, and it's the same thing with being a psychic medium or card reader or whatever. The client should be the most important person in your life, no matter what. It's the old adage, doctor do no harm.
Right, and it kind of leads to my next question, Tim. Do you think that, or do you feel that us as gifted people, that we're more prone to attachments during a investigation, or even just, you know, going to the local grocery store?
If you're gifted, and I don't believe in that term. It's just ability. Anybody can do it.
Right.
Because I don't consider myself gifted or special. And you don't know what you're doing, or you're not firm in your own spiritual foundation, your own spiritual beliefs,
mm-hmm.
Well, expect it.
Right.
Expect it. In all my life, I've got one attachment, and I had what I consider a question about the case. And guess what? That's where the attachment will exploit. It's a war. You have to understand that. You have to think of it like that. So before you even walk into an investigation, you got to make sure that you do whatever it has to. I don't care if you dance around a fire naked with a dead chicken. If that's what goes and recharges you and really stimulates and amps up that your firm belief system that you will not get an attachment, do it. Mm-hmm. Do it. I believe that my protection comes from within. I had a mentor that taught me that. I don't call down the white light. I don't do any of that stuff. I don't do the St. Michael's prayer. Most locations, no matter how bad, I will just stop on my way out and say, anybody that, you know, I'm telling all of you right now that you're not allowed to come home with me. You've got to stay here. You've got to stay here. That's the way it works. I don't accept it. And a lot of people, it's all in your belief system. If you believe 101%, you won't have a problem in your belief system. The problem is people don't believe like that. People voice it. People mouth it. I don't know how many people, you go to these events and they're all standing outside holding hands, and they're like, well, we're going to let the white light drift over the top of us. How many of the people truly believe it?
Right.
The people who truly believe it, that this white light will protect you, are protected. The ones that are just chippers at it, that are just mouthing it, well, why don't you just put a sign, open for business, vacancy. Come on and hang out with me. That's the bottom line.
Right. Tim, can anybody be trained to be medium?
Yeah, because you possess all the tools.
Mm-hmm.
All it is just, listen, we have an adage. It's where you go and, back in the hunter-gatherer days, you needed a sixth sense. You needed this mediumship to stay in touch with the ancestors in order to survive. When you were nomadic, when we were all nomadic, you had to know where the herds were. You had to know where the safety of shelters were. You had to know where water was. You had to know where your enemy was. So you needed that little sixth sense. As we became more agricultural in nature, we lived behind protection. We didn't need that anymore. And the only ones that held on to it were priests and holy men and shamans and that sort. And as years have gone on, even that's become diluted. So what you need to understand is that here's an example. If I put you, Tim, in a hospital bed for a year and took care of you, mm-hmm. and you didn't get out, and after a year I said to you, well, you got to get up and run down the hallway, you can't do it. All it is a question of retraining yourself. That's all it is. That's why I say psychics and mediums and sensitives and whatever you want to call yourself, you're not special. You're not special. What you are is someone who has retrained themselves and it is a natural process. And and it's the same thing with paranormal. There's nothing paranormal. It's all normal. Supernatural. There's nothing supernatural. It's all natural. You just have to accept that it's there, and that's the bottom line.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Tim, I know you have to leave early, and I appreciate you coming on the show.
Sorry about being late, Tim. And I hate dropping out, but I mean, I got to get something to eat. We've like I say, I put in 38 hours of overtime last week, and this week they called me up, and I had no sleep whatsoever, and I fell asleep on the couch. So I haven't eaten anything since this morning.
Oh, wow.
So. I appreciate you bringing me on.
You're welcome. I've been trying and wanting to have you on the show as my guest, and because I like you as a friend, Tim, and it's always a joy to talk to you.
Well, what we're going to do is we're going to set up another date where I'm almost cognitive, mm-hmm. and I'm awake, and we'll sit down and we'll get into some really nitty gritty stuff. How's that? I give you a promise on that. Send me a couple dates, and we can talk about some of the cases that I've done, and we can talk about the books and all the craziness that I've experienced.
Yeah, I would love that. Like I said, I look up to you, Tim, and I think of you as a good friend.
Oh, Lord, don't ever do that. Aim higher than me, man. Aim higher than me. I'm just the bottom rung of this this carnival.
You've always been so nice, Mom and I, the last two events that we went to, and it was pretty awesome.
Oh, you guys are awesome, and you know what? It's so nice. Because you and your mom do this for, you guys are true lights, and that makes a big difference because a lot of people aren't. And I meet so many people out there, and I'm on, the different circuits, and I do a lot of speaking. And it, when you meet true believers, true nice people, then, you guys are gifts to me.
Yeah, we think of you as a gift for sure, Tim.
Oh, yeah, I'm a gift, all right. Just don't open it up because you never know what's inside.
Yeah, I like you a lot, Tim. I think you're a good friend. So.
You guys are excellent. You guys are great.
Is there any thing you want to say in closing? Any you want to promote your books or, feel free. The floor is yours at this point.
No, that's scary. I don't even know. I would say events, but I mean, my events I'm done. I've turned down a couple of events already for this winter. I'm going to go and I'm going to start the Magical Mystery Machine gets on the road back in March or up in March. But those in the Western New York area, I've got Haunted Rochester. My book, The Ghosts of Buffalo, of course. But I also have the Please Talk With Me. The story of the C2D1 haunting of Geneseo State. That can be purchased. All those can be purchased through my website at www.theblackcatlounge.net. I have also the channeled book of one of my spirit guides, Cassius. We can talk about, next time I come on, we'll talk about what a pain in the butt this entity can be.
Okay.
And why the book. I wasn't going to go and publish it, and the entity was relentless. And so that is out on Dark Moon Press. I do have those. You can get those right through my friend Corvus Nocturnum site. And just today I got in, what's it called? Oh my God, I forgot the name of the book. The Whispering Spirits. And it's an anthology where myself and other paranormal people have sat down and contributed true scary stories. And it's a pretty neat book. If I could, I just got it in today, so I'm still laughing about it. And my show, I'm coming back on next week Thursday, the Black Cat Lounge on the www.para-x.com, and I'll be damned if I even remember who the heck I have on. I've got somebody. I just don't know who.
See, you took the week off, and now you don't know what you're doing. See that?
This is what happens. This is what happens. This is what happens when you're working on like 4 hours of sleep.
Exactly. You guys got hammered up there, man. Geez, 7 feet of snow. Wow.
Yeah, 7 feet snow, and we got 9 feet. We had 9 foot banks up here, and Within 5 days, it was all gone.
Yeah. You didn't get any sleep? I mean, if you did, you probably slept in a truck.
No, I was out. I was called out Sunday night, and I went to put wing plows on our plows, and I didn't get home until I left Wednesday at 7, and then I came back Thursday morning at midnight, and stayed. I'm trying to think till like Friday at 2. So at 2 o'clock, that's when, and then we didn't get out at all. So yeah, it gets a little interesting up here. It gets a little hairy, but that's Western New York, and if you live in Western New York, 7 feet of snow falls on you, you just dig out and go to work in the morning. That's the way. That's the way we are.
All right. Bonnie's in chat. She says she'll never forget the message you gave her from her mom in 2006 while in Rochester.
Oh, that's sweet. That's so sweet. I can't. Unfortunately, Bonnie, I can't remember. I train myself not to remember messages. This way, I don't carry anybody's baggage with me, and it's tough. But thank you so much for saying that. That means a lot. That's huge. Thank you so much.
Well, Tim, it's been an honor to have you on the show, and I'll give you some dates here. Maybe you think maybe in February-ish?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay.
Barring me not getting here and to my studio and being able to get to it, but yeah, I should be available.
Okay.
So we'll have some fun.
Yeah, I'd love to have you back on. We can talk about the project you've done and things like that. So yeah, it'd be great.
Sounds good. Well, you guys are excellent. I love you, Timmy. I like your mom. I think your mom is one of the sweetest people out there. So you guys be good, and stay warm. Don't do anything crazy. I mean, this is wintertime now. We don't frost on the pumpkins is one thing, but nobody wants frostbite on the pumpkins. We'll talk about that another time too off the air.
All right. Thank you, Tim.
Take care, my friends. Everybody at Z Talk. I love you guys. I love you, Scotty. Scotty O'Rourke is just a good friend of mine, and I'm so happy that Z Talk is out there and is just going as strong as it ever been.
Mm-hmm. It is. It's a great network. I like Scotty and Tim and the whole gang. They're just wonderful people up here. So.
Yes, they are. And when you see them, tell them I said hi.
All right, Tim. Thanks for coming on the show. And like I said, I'll get those dates for you here.
Fantabulous, baby. Fantabulous.
All right, my friend. I look forward to talking to you again. So
take care now. Bye-bye.
Enjoy your dinner.
Yeah, I better get going because my wife is giving me the look. Okay, I'll see you guys later. Bye.
All right, bye. Good night. Well, you have been listening to the Supernatural Realm radio show here on the Z Talk Radio Network. And as Tim promised, we'll have him back on the show. I'm going to give him some dates in February, and I appreciate everybody tuning in. I appreciate everybody being so active and polite in chat. It's awesome. If anybody has any questions for me, or if you have any comments, feel free to do so. I got about 30 minutes left here on the live show, and then I'll have to give the server up to Alan here at 9 p.m. Eastern. He has the Warren Exchange. Alan, who's your guest this evening? Or who do you have on your podcast tonight? With that, I'm going to go ahead and play a song here, and if anybody has any questions or comments, you can call in 724-602-2826. You're listening to the Supernatural Realm on the Z Talk Radio Network. We'll be right back right after this.
Damn pretty girl, you ain't done it again. You're gonna turn it sexy all the way up to 10. I never seen a side right seat looking so hot. Baby, you rock, hit the spot like a fireball shot. You got me all high, head spinning around and around. I'm down if you're down to burn down this town. Ready, set, let's roll. Ready, set, let's ride. Get your little fine ass on the step, shimmy up inside. Slide, girl, by my side, girl. Yeah, we can run this town. I can rock your world. We can roll time's me, girl, we can rev it up right till we overheat. Just forget about the time, get your lips on mine. Gotta kiss you, get to know your smile. On your mark, get set, ready, set, let's roll. Ready, set, let's ride. Get your little fine ass on the step, shimmy up inside. Slide, girl, by my side, girl. Yeah, we can run this town. I can rock your world. We can roll 'em down, pop 'em up, cruise around, get stuck. Pedal to the metal till the sun comes up. I'll make a deal with the man on the moon. He's gonna put in some overtime. We got all night. Ready, set, let's roll. Ready, set, let's ride. Ready, set, let's roll. Ready, set, let's ride. You got my heart bump pumping when I'm pulling up into your drive. Let's hit it 90 to nothing. Couple kids running into the night. Ready, set, let's roll. Ready, set, let's ride. Get your little fine ass on the step, shimmy up inside. Slide, girl, by my side, girl. Yeah, we can run this town. I can rock your world. We can roll 'em down, pop 'em up, cruise around, get stuck. Pedal to the metal till the sun comes up. I'll make a deal with the man on the moon. He's gonna put in some overtime. We got all night. Ready, set, let's roll. Ready, set, let's ride. Ready, set, let's roll. Ready, set, let's ride. Get your little fine ass on the step, shimmy up inside. Yeah, we can run this town. You know I'll rock your world. Come on. Let's roll, let's ride, let's run this town tonight.
Let's roll. Let's roll.
And if you want to call in and chat for a few minutes, feel free to do so. And if anybody else wants to call in chat, if you have any questions for me, any concerns, anything you want to talk about, the floor is yours. We have open lines right now for the next 30 minutes. 724-602-2826. We'll be right back right after this.
Like a storm, the cuts a path, it breaks your will. It feels like that. You think you're lost, but you're lost on your own. You're not alone. I will
customer service we provide.
Our hard work has been nationally recognized. Armstrong has received the 2012 Best Customer Service Award for service excellence among independent cable operators.
From our Blue Booties
to our 24/7 support, our customer service sets us apart from other providers.
That's the Armstrong experience.
Armstrong. One wire, infinite possibilities.
Switch your car insurance to Geico and we can help you save on boat and motorcycle insurance too. Other insurance companies are green with envy. Oh, no, I'm sorry, but this is all wrong. I would never say that.
Well, what would you say?
Well, I'd probably emphasise the savings. Lose that green with envy bit. Rubbish. It's just a reference about my complexion.
But the focus groups thought that the...
Focus groups? Geico doesn't use focus groups. Excuse me, no one told me we were using focus groups.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Hi, my name is Rebecca Jordan Gleason, and my family bought the Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum back in 2007. From the start, people were eager to tour this American architectural treasure, a mental health hospital for over 130 years. The Civil War years, patient artwork, medical treatments, all the money collected from the tours that we offer at the asylum go directly to her preservation. I'd like to invite your family to come see what our family's been up to.
And welcome back to the Supernatural Realm, right here on the Z Talk Radio Network. Well, it was an honor. It was awesome. It was great to be able to talk to my friend Tim Shaw on the show, and we're gonna have him back, guys. He's gonna be on the show sometime in February. I'll be posting the dates on Facebook as well as the website for Supernatural Realm on Facebook as well. I want to send some prayers out to my uncle Tom Cummings. He's going to have heart surgery at Allegheny General Hospital on Monday, December 1st, to replace his aortic valve. If the listeners, if you guys can send prayers and healing to him, I'm sure he'd appreciate it. I would appreciate it as well as my cousin, his son, William Cummings. He says that his dad is anxious to get back to work side by side with his other son, Barry Cummings, who owns and operates the Cummings Candy on Main Street right here in downtown Butler. Tom's getting tired of watching reruns of Gunsmoke and Judge Judy. He's the strongest and kindest man that his sons know. And they love him and they wish him well, and I wish him well too. I hope he gets through the surgery without any problems. So if you can send Tom Cummings some healing and some good energy, I'm sure he would appreciate it. So if anybody has any questions or comments, we got about 20 minutes left here on the live show on Supernatural Realm. You can do that 724-602-2826. I'm gonna go ahead and play another song, and if anybody has any questions or comments, feel free to call in. I know that there's still some people in chat, so the numbers up. The line is yours, so call in.
I've always wanted to be a singer. I'm ready. I've been practicing. Can't really quit my job at Dairy Queen right now. I have to sing. America, here I come. Someday I'm gonna be famous. Do I have talent? Well, no. These days you don't really need it, thanks to reality shows. Can't wait today to supermodel. Can't wait to sue my dad. Can't wait to wreck a Ferrari on my way to rehab. 'Cause when you're a celebrity, it's adios reality. I asked for a soy. Oh no, you didn't order soy, sir. Excuse me? Did I order soy? You think you did? Hey, you have a manager? I get to cry to Barbara Walters when things don't go my way. This is not a soy latte, this is milk product. And I get community service no matter which law I break. I'll make the supermarket tabloids. They'll write some awful stuff. Taste that. But the more they run my name down, the more my price goes up. 'Cause when you're a celebrity, it's adios reality. No matter what you do, people think you're cool just 'cause you're on TV. You taste soy? Do you taste soy? I can fall in and out of love. Have marriages that barely last a month. When they go down the drain, I blame it on the fame and say it's just so tough being a celebrity.
I found somebody here who's a country musician.
She's gonna pick me. There's just no doubt in my mind. We had such chemistry.
Brad, there's no chemistry.
Hitch up the wagons and head out west to the land of the fun and the sun. We'll be real world bachelor, jackass millionaires. Hey, hey, Hollywood, here we come.
Just something that sparkles about him.
Chicks, gig, grindstone. Can I get a mocha? Soy! Yeah, when you're a celebrity, it's adios reality. No matter what you do, people think you're cool just 'cause you're on TV. Dangerous bit when my latte isn't just how I like it. When they say I've gone insane, I blame it on the fame, the pressures that go with being a celebrity.
I want to show you how ridiculous this happened.
Yeah, celebrity. You're right. Oh, where's my phone? Hey!
What are you doing in my car?
I was just,
Get out of my car.
Okay.
It's a valuable car.
It's really nice.
You put 200 miles on my car.
Second gear sticks a little bit.
You got it into second gear?
Yeah.
How'd you do that? Caca.
Oh.
Performance is I like the end of the song.
You mean the guitar part where it goes high?
No, the end of the song. I like it. The end.
You mean?
No. You know when the song ends?
Yeah.
And you come to a stop? I love that.
Well, when we're getting near the end of the show for this evening, and seems like chat room has vacated all of a sudden after Tim got off the air with me, which is nothing new. Tim has a following, and it's awesome, and he's a good friend of mine, and I'm looking forward to having him back on the show here. Next week, I have Jessie Brody from Haunting Investigations. She's the Haunting Investigations is stationed out in northern Colorado. So Jessie's going to be on the show next week with me. And on the 12th of December, Chip Reichenfeld's coming back on the show as well as Mark Keyes. He's going to be on the show with me. He got a book out. He's going to be talking about that. He's he is a police officer over in eastern Pennsylvania. He's going to talk about the paranormal, talk about his books. I'm looking forward to talking with him on that. The 19th of December, I have Dee McCauley and Chelsea Damali. I think her name is Damali. She's going to be on the show as well. And then at 7 p.m., my friend Lou is going to be on the show. We're going to talk about St. Nicholas because that's the week before Halloween. We're going to talk about St. Nicholas and who St. Nicholas is and the story behind him. So, and on the 2nd of January, I have currently open right now. I don't know if I'm going to have a guest on the show, being it's just the first day of the new year, the second day of the new year. I don't know if anybody will be listening that day, so that's open currently. And on January 19th, I have Chris and Roseanne Cupid. They were just on the A Haunting TV show this past week about their story, their frightening paranormal experience they had in their home. So I'm looking forward to talking with them. I'll post all the details about the upcoming guest on chat, or not on chat, but on Facebook, on the Facebook page. So I'm looking forward to talking with everybody. I'm looking forward to having Tim Shaw back on the show sometime in February. I'm going to work out the dates with him. So I'm looking forward to having him back on the show as well. So I'm going to go ahead and maybe play another song, or if anybody's still in chat, if you have any questions or comments, call in 724-602-2826. We'll be right back right after this. Play a little bit of Mike Bryan for you. Play it again on the Z Talk Radio Network. Yeah, actually I mean Christmas. Sorry, guys. I don't know, I'm stuck on the Halloween. I love Halloween, so sorry about that.
She was sitting all alone over on the tailgate, 10 legs swinging by a Georgia plate. I was looking for her boyfriend, thinking no way she ain't got one. Soon as I sat down, I was falling in love, trying to pour a little sugar in her Dixie cup, talking over the speakers in the back of that truck. She jumped up and cut me off. She was like, oh my God, this is my song. I've been listening to the radio all night long, sitting around waiting for it to come on, and here it is. She was like, come here boy, I wanna dance. For I said a word, she was taking my hand, spinning me around till it faded out. And she gave me a kiss, and she said, play it again.
want to thank everybody for listening to the show this evening. And as I said earlier, March 12th, Chip Reichenthal will return as my guest on Supernatural Realm, as well as Mark Keyes. So I'm looking forward to that, talking with him. Mark is the author of the book Chasing Shadows. It's a story about the investigators look into the paranormal. So I'm looking forward to talking with him about the book. Well, I'm going to go ahead and end the show here a few minutes early. If nobody has any questions or comments, yeah, Mom, it's just you and I in chat, and I don't know who all is listening, but it's just you and I, Mom, here right now on the Z Talk Radio Network. So, Mark Keyes, I'm going to give you a little bit of background about his book. After working for years as a criminal investigator, Detective Mark Keyes turned to his investigative skills towards the paranormal to uncover the cause of strange experience he had as a young boy. Detective Keyes is ultimately searching to uncover the truth and answers to questions that he and so many others have asked, like the question, are ghosts real? Detective Keyes takes you through his true life story and evolution from criminal investigator to paranormal investigator as he tests psychic phenomena and inserts himself into the supernatural world of haunted homes and businesses. Mark has also been featured on a couple of the TV shows, a couple of the paranormal shows on the Discovery Channel as a haunted, as well as co-star of Surviving Evidence, and he's a radio host on Wilk FM's Paranormal Science. So that's that's December 12th, right here on the Z Talk Radio Network. And as I said earlier, Jesse Brody will be joining me here December 5th, which is next week, right here on Supernatural Realm. Well, I'm going to go ahead and end the show here, and I'm glad, thanks for listening, and I hope everybody tunes in next week. And like I said, December 12th, Mark Keyes and Chip Reichenthal will be here. And I will get you guys the dates in February when Tim Shaw is going to be returning here with me on the Z Talk Radio Network. I'm going to go ahead and end the show here, and it's time for me to fly. Good night, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.
down for you, but I just can't get any relief. I swallowed my pride for you, lived a lie for you. You used to make me feel like a thief. You got me feeling you